Guyana is making its presence felt on the international stage once again, this time at the 24th session of the United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues, held from April 21 to May 2, 2025 in New York. Through its delegation led by the Amerindian Affairs Minister, the state has reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to the empowerment and rights of Indigenous women. Guyana's dedication to Indigenous empowerment was articulated by Sukhai, who addressed the global forum with a strong focus on improving the lives of Indigenous women through political inclusion, education, and economic advancement.
30 years ago, when I entered Parliament, there were few Indigenous women parliamentarians. Today, 39% of women in Parliament are Indigenous. 3 Indigenous women have led the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs.
She noted that several nationally funded programs are actively targeting the economic empowerment of Indigenous women, including support for entrepreneurial ventures in agriculture, ecotourism, traditional sectors, as well as the youth entrepreneurship and apprenticeship programs, of which 63% of participants are Indigenous women.
The government has advanced equitable access to health care and education nationwide. New and upgraded healthcare infrastructure and telemedicine services are expanding across the Amerindian villages. These improvements prioritize Indigenous women's health care, coupled with financial aid for universal health and cancer screening.
She highlighted healthcare and education access as central pillars of Guyana's development strategy, especially in remote communities. The government has been expanding education through teaching training, constructing new schools, and investing in ICT connectivity. Reinforcing this commitment, Sukhai pointed to the availability of tuition-free university and technical education, along with fully funded international scholarships, which are now accessible to Indigenous students, especially women. She also referenced the recent passage of the Family Violence Act, describing it as a pivotal milestone in the fight against gender-based violence, particularly in Indigenous communities.
Combating sexual and gender-based violence remains a priority in Guyana. Our recently passed Family Violence Act strengthens the legal framework on domestic violence, enhances protections for victims and survivors, and ensures offenders are held accountable. These provisions apply equally to Indigenous women and girls.
This year's forum is being held under the theme, quote-unquote, implementing the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples with UN member states at the UN system, including identifying good practices and addressing challenges. It brings together member states, Indigenous leaders, and civil society representatives to examine progress and share both successes and ongoing hurdles in the implementation of the declaration. Tiana reporting for the HGP Night 3 News.